they dream. It's easy on the ear. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Shining sea.
Since 9/11, we have been in a state of perpetual war. In this age of an all-volunteer military, where one service member takes on the combat tours of what 5 or more folks in those times of a draft would serve, means there are many less veterans in the community that can share the hardship and sacrifice. We dedicate this day not after the end of a war, during a deadly conflict, over continuous 18 years. After 9/11, our all-volunteer military stepped up. We must now step up and heal the wounded, not just today, but for a lifetime. Some of us have seen the carnage of war and understand how devastating the cost can be. Yet all of us understand that our freedoms are not free, and that courage, commitment, and dedication are necessary to secure the common good. It is fitting on this day that we ask ourselves the simple question: what would our country be without such men and women, our sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, who give their lives to protect our nation? We owe them a great debt of gratitude, which at the very least means providing them with optimal care, not all of which is covered by the Veterans Administration. We are a nation that admires diversity of thought, that thrives on individual freedoms, that seeks many answers for even the most simple of problems. Yet all of us must admit that but for those who fight for such rights, none of us could expect to enjoy them.
This nation was formed by those who possessed the bravery and foresight to pursue and defend a better way of life. That same spirit is strong in those that swear an oath to defend it today. Make no mistake about it, our military isn't made up of those who do not possess the skill or means to attain a more typical way of life. They're the finest men and women this country has to offer. They're selfless, highly trained, morally sound, and intensely loyal. Raised on the shoulders of the brave veterans who came before him, they have built the most lethal fighting force in the history of this planet. A force whose role isn't to conquer and enslave, but a force for good in what at times can be a dark world. The military has taken a far more active role in ensuring the ongoing security of this nation. A fight that I can attest to you is ongoing every minute of every day. My request is very simple. When our service members have been put to the limits of what mere humans can withstand, the very sight of the American flag and what it represents can move even the most hardened soldier to tears. We often utter the phrase that we love our country, but that, at that moment, that's the purest form of love. A love that most may never know. I simply ask that each and every one of you do your part to keep this country deserving of that love. Take the time to occasionally set aside personal goals and do what you can for someone else in your communities. Take care of each other, and know when times get bleak and the evil of the world sets its sights on the American people, the greatest among us stand ready to strike them down.
There is no way that you can do these jobs and be in these places without being affected in some way, shape, or another with this. Our veterans and our first responders, every day that they come to work or every day that they wake up for reveille, know that that could be their last wake up, that could be the last time that they get to see their friends and their families. And we walk away every single day with a little bit more of the evil that we have eaten. We are the evil eaters in this world. We see things on the battlefields, we see things on the streets, we see things at their absolute worst, and we handle it, we deal with it. And as a result of that, we're starting to see the blowback, the increased suicide rates between our veterans. We see the increased suicide rates between our first responders. We see the health deterioration that happens for these people that put their lives on the line. So as the Sergeant Major so eloquently put it, I challenge each and every one of you who knows someone, now is the time to not let us lose another one. Let's not let them give up their lives. The wounds that they receive in battle, the wounds that they receive on the battlefield that are visible, like losing arms and legs and burns, are not the most serious injuries that they receive sometimes. The most serious injuries are often injuries to the heart and to the mind and the soul. And as part of that challenge, let's not lose another one to suicide. Let's not lose another one. So I'm challenging you to reach out. If you know a veteran, or you know a first responder, and they have some kind of issue, they're not acting the way that they are, offer them a hand. You may not be able to communicate with them. My father was a Vietnam veteran until I came back from Desert Shield and Desert Storm and spent a year in the desert. I never really understood the way that he had times adjusting when he came home from Vietnam in 69. Never really understood my grandfather, who was in the Pacific during World War II. But as I was experiencing those things, I understood, and my relationship with my family grew better because we were able to help each other through those times. Not everybody has family, but what they do have is they have their battle buddies. They have their fire teams. They have their backup. And so I'm asking every one of you, if you're not in the military or you're not a first responder, you still know somebody. So why don't you be somebody's battle buddy, and some of you be somebody's fire team, and help them out and help them along the way so we don't lose any more to this tragedy that's happening, because we're still losing lives on the battlefield when the battlefield is inside the heart. It's not in Afghanistan and Iraq anymore. And that's all I really wanted to say to everybody today in remembrance of Gene. In Gene's name, think about the good that he has done and his foundations have caused, and what we can do in the future to how much better we can make this place. Thank you.
I served in the U.S. Marine Corps as a bomb disposal technician, did 6 combat tours, 4 of which as a bomb disposal technician, got blown up 5 times in service to the country. Lost my legs, lost some fingers, but was impacted by such profound lessons in the service. Friends giving their lives for what we all believe in and the worth in defending our way of life and our freedoms here in the United States by giving our lives at the point if it's necessary.